Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel. This is John with Halfway There Adventures. Today I was just going to do a little short video on my kayak. I took it out today, did a little fishing, didn't have no luck, but my buddy on his kayak did catch like a 20-inch redfish. It was pretty awesome. But fishing was pretty tough with the conditions, the way the tides were and everything, so it's all good. We have fun on the water though. I wanted to just kind of give you a rundown of what I've done on my kayak to customize it, make it easier for me to fish off of, and hopefully maybe give you guys some ideas of stuff you can do for your kayak. So I'll just go through kind of step by step all the things I added to it, and show you guys how it turned out. Hopefully gives you some good inspiration to build your own. Alright y'all, I just want to give you a little rundown on the kayak here. It's nothing fancy at all. Bought this kayak several years ago at Walmart. I believe at the time it was just like a $179 or $199 for just the basic kayak, and the one paddle came with it. It was pretty basic at the time, but I just took the time to make a few little upgrades and make it a little more well suited for what I was going to use it for, mostly fishing. But I even added the little rack on the back that hauls my little cargo carrier there, little milk crate, pretty well. But also at other times when I'm not fishing, I've been able to strap a small cooler on there for drinks and stuff when we're going out just floating on the river, so it works out good. I'll just kind of show you what things I added and the benefits I got on them. First thing, this storage hatch on the front didn't come on it. I ordered that off Amazon, but I wanted a place where I could store my phone and my wallet and stuff. I usually use a dry bag, and I'll put it in here. And any other loose stuff I don't want to risk falling in the water, I put it in there. And it's got this nice O-ring seal around it. I mean, if you submerge the thing or really stick the bow under it, it can get a little water in it, but for the most part it stays pretty dry in there. That's got a little twist lock that holds it down tight. Another thing I added was put a cleat on the front here so I can use it to tie off. My plan is tomorrow to maybe fish by a bridge. It usually seems to hold some sheep's head, and I might use that tie to just tie my kayak to the bridge so I stay in place and don't have to keep paddling back to my spot. I also added one right behind the seat as well. As you can see, I got a little tie-off rope. If I'm tying off to the dock where I launch it or whatever, I got something to anchor that rope to. I always say I added a couple stickers. Alabama Roll Tide and Let's Go Irish. Both college football playoff teams looks like this year, so leave a comment on who your favorite college football team is. I did put a GoPro mount right here on the front. I do have some footage of me using it last time. Just because I wanted to take a test run and see how the angle would work, or if I needed to move it front or back. But that seemed to work pretty good for me right there. I got an older GoPro, knockoff GoPro, that the sound doesn't work too good. I put it inside this waterproof case, so I don't have to worry about it getting splashed or whatever. And I would use the audio from my my other GoPro when I'm editing a video. It seems like it works pretty good. Moving on back, I did add a little paddle clip. I actually just put this on today. It'll be the first time I used it. Before, I don't know if you can see that little hole right there. I just had a half loop of one of these and used a bungee cord to hold the paddle on, but it wasn't really secure. I think this paddle clip's going to hold it way tighter, so I definitely recommend putting one of those on there so you don't have to always shove it inside. If you need to use your hands for something. Up here in the front, that does come with this cool little cup holder and a little tray where you can stack stuff. What I did, I just did this today, is I unibitted a hole right here for my pliers, needleless pliers, and then on the other side, I unibitted 2 holes and then used a multi-tool to cut it out so I could have room for my boga grips, so when I'm fishing that'll be real easily accessible. Looking down under here, this is just a little bait bucket I'll probably be using to put my filler crabs or whatever we get tomorrow. shove my life jacket up under there. It's out of the way of my feet, but if I need to grab it, I can easily just pull it right out. This is the factory seat that comes with it. Nothing fancy there. You also have a secondary little cup holder too. This seat is okay. It's not super comfortable, but I had an idea. The one I have doesn't work, but I'll show you. If you've seen my other videos on my boat, you may have seen that I use these stadium seats for the back of my skiff because the Mako Pro skiff doesn't have any rear seats. This one right here is just a little too wide, but I may be in the market looking for one a little narrower because I think you could probably slide one of those in over top here and actually have a nicer backrest and everything for it. So if I do find one that works, I'll make sure I post it in the comments or make a new video on it. Moving back, obviously you can see I did cut 2 recessed rod holders in. I like to keep one with the rod I'm fishing currently, and then the other one I like to keep my net in, so if I net one, it's real easy accessible. And then as you can see, I got my milk crate built up here on the back for all the storage of all my gear and stuff. I got somewhere to put it where it's not going to end up falling off in the water. There is a storage compartment underneath that I can use, but typically I don't put anything under there, but I'll show you guys in a minute what that's like once I take this rack off. But on the back I mounted 3 rod holders. I mean, I rarely take that many poles out, but it's just nice to have extras if you need. And I also thought if I wanted to fish, you know, early morning or in the evening when the sun's going down, I could maybe make me a battery powered little light pole where I could have you know, my anchor light out back and somehow rig some kind of bow lights. I haven't done that yet, but I did kind of think about that when I added that 3rd rod holder. I'll kind of show you. This is my little net. I use it on the boat too, but I really bought it when I had the kayak first because it's pretty small and compact. If you wanted to, this thing actually folds down and the handle will retract a little bit so it get even smaller. Inside this milk crate, I just made me a small little tackle box. I obviously don't want to bring my big tackle box and risk dumping all that tackle in the water if something was to happen where I dump this thing out. Tip it over, that would be a bad deal. Just got a couple, some soft plastics, some fish bites, synthetic stuff in case I want to try fishing with some of that. I got a dry bag, and the only thing I got in here right now is sunscreen and bug spray. Keep me another little bit of paracord for if I need to tie up to something. I got me a knife in case I need to cut some stuff. Got me a little stringer. And I got my anchor and a couple things of fishing line. I got some 8-pound test and some 20-pound tests if I need to make some leader material. Just to kind of try to cover all the bases, whatever I might run into while I was out there. So I'm going to cut the video real quick. I'll take this milk crate off and show you the rack and how I built it. And then when I get done with that, I'll pop off the, tilt the rack back and show you the storage compartment underneath. I guess before I take it off, I want to show you how I got it mounted. This is like a little paracord. It was like a little bracelet that has some clips on it. I decided to use that to tie this front down because as long as the front of this milk crate is sitting across this long beam in the front, it keeps it real stable and sturdy. It's not super loose. And in the back, I just use a bungee around these two going through the bottom to keep it centered and in place. I mean, it moves a little bit, but as long as you're not making any really sudden movements, it's not going to go anywhere. Alright, now they've got that milk crate out of the way. I'm going to show you the little rack I built on the back here to put the milk crate on, or like I said, a cooler. And I'll run inside and grab that cooler in a second and show you, you know, the size cooler I like to use that fits on here without making it too top heavy and awkward. But for this little rack I built, I just used some 1/2-inch PVC. I took a cap here and I drilled a hole through it, and I have a 1/4-20 nut going down in the bottom. I used to have it actually screwed off on the bottom, but I found I don't really need that. Just the gravity alone holds it down and it fits really snugly in this hole. I made the hole just the perfect size where it fits in. Come up to a 90, the short piece, and then made 2 T's here to put the center supports, and then the mirror image on the other side to a 90 and another cap. And then the same thing in the back. I just had to make everything a little more narrow because obviously, as you can see, the kayak gets way skinnier in the back. So I just had to shorten my length between these and put the 90 right up to the T and use these caps and drill the holes. I left the nuts on these because these, I never take this part off. But when I put this together, I didn't glue these fittings so that I would be able to, when I pop the 2 front ones out, and if I want to get into this bottom storage, I can just tilt it up. So, like I said, I'll get that tilted up and I'll put the camera back on, open up the hatch. There's a lot of room in there, but anything you put in there is probably going to get kind of wet, so you need to put it in a dry bag or whatever. But I'll show you what it looks like inside there, and then I'll go grab that cooler for you. Alright, as you can see, I got this thing tilted up. I just got these tiny little holes. I made them pretty much the perfect size for these little bolts I got stuck through the caps. Like I said, it fits real snug, and like I showed you, I got those back T's not glued in so I can pivot them out of the way. That lets me access this bottom part, which is a little dirty in there, but you could store quite a bit of stuff in there, especially if you had a dry bag. I'd say if I was trying to do like a weekend camping thing or something, maybe I could fit a small tent, whatever we need to put back there, and make a weekend out of it. That'd be kind of cool. Might have to try that someday, but it's got these bungees I think were made if you wanted to attach anything on the top here, but I don't really use those since I have the rack in place. If y'all really want me to do a step-by-step build on this, how to make this rack, just leave me a comment, tell me you want me to do that, and I have another exact same kayak I could build it on, or even the green one, which is a different style. Might build a little differently, so I wouldn't mind building another one. So if we were going out with all 3 kayaks, we could carry more than one cooler, or the cooler and the fishing stuff, whichever one. Alright, y'all, I told you guys I'd get the cooler out and show you the one I like to use on here if I'm not putting the milk crate on there. This little cooler here is a little Igloo. I don't know the specs on it, but it's an Igloo Marine. It's a pretty good size, and we've put a bunch of drinks in there. And what I'll do usually is I'll take this strap and run it underneath these 2, and I can take the adjustment and cinch it up as tight as I can, and then just run a couple bungees as well, from these pockets down under, just to keep it stable on there. And even with ice and drinks in there, it doesn't make this thing too crazy unstable. I mean, you can tell the extra weight's there, but it doesn't make it dangerous or anything. But we've went out on a little river trip before and loaded up with drinks, and then we took a dry bag and took some snacks and stuff and put them underneath this bungee and slided it in there, so we could kind of make a day of it, and it worked out. Alright, y'all, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully that helped you out if you're looking to build your own custom little fishing kayak. Works out good for me. I'm not saying this would be my forever kayak. If I did have some extra money, I would like to maybe get a sit on top kayak, especially if you ever wanted to take it out in the bigger water, like in the bays. Or I've taken this out in the Gulf once, and it was a little sketchy. I'll probably never do that again, because the conditions can change so quick. It was dead calm when I went out, and by the time it was time to come in, it started getting a little rougher than I would have liked to have been in this kind of kayak that doesn't, it's not self-bailing like a sit-on-top kayak usually is. So, like I said, I hope you guys enjoy the video and get some good use out of it. And any questions or anything, put them in the comments. I'll get back with you. Thanks for tuning in. John with Halfway There Adventures.